Hey, when I had my first heart attack, that's when I knew things had to change. You see, I realized it wasn't about work ethic. Instead, it was about something else. You see, we're not here to try and outwork everybody. When did that become the end goal? Oh yeah, I outwork anyone. I don't want to outwork anyone. I want to outlive people. And I can outlive people by leverage. So in today's session, I'm going to teach you the 3 leverage lessons. Not the 3 lessons on how to work harder or grind yourself into the ground, but these 3 leverage lessons are going to help you build the business and life of your dreams. When I first started growing my 7-figure online business back in my late 20s, you know what I realized? I thought that working more meant getting more. But it didn't. Working harder, working longer, and grinding myself, well, you know what? It led to anxiety attacks, it led me to the emergency room, and it led me to a realization that there had to be something more. You see, think about it this way. Imagine you were working 60 hours a week and you got to 100K, right? You got to 6 figures working 60 hours. Well, how the heck do you get to 250K? Do you work 80 hours, 100 hours? You can't do that. In fact, just the other day, I was having a coaching session with one of my clients. He makes 450,000 euros working a few hours per week. Okay? 450,000 euros in a year for a few hours of work per week? Great. But he had a friend who was a lawyer making 120,000 euros working 100 hours a week. Obviously, there's a better way that doesn't require you working more. And so if you are stuck in that paycheck prison, we're going to show you the way to the promised land through these 3 leverage points that will get you out of it. Now, the first thing I realized back when I was struggling, when I had the anxiety, when I wasn't able to separate myself from trading time for money, was I realized that time was the answer. And I'm going to teach you the first exercise here. You just need a scrap piece of paper, and we're going to build out the time journal. So a time journal is going to teach you 3 powerful leverage lessons, and we're going to go through them. Now, what are you going to do on this time journal? Well, it's the same thing that I had my personal training clients do back in the day with a food journal. They would come to me and they would try and get results, and they'd say, Craig, I'm doing all these workouts, but I'm not getting anywhere. I'd say, well, tell me what you're eating. In fact, take home a food journal, write down what you're eating, and then write down also at the same time why you're eating it or what emotion are you feeling. Are you actually hungry, or are you angry, lonely, or tired? Because we only act out under that HALT acronym. If we're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, those are the 4 times that we binge eat, that we get angry, that we act poorly, that we scroll on social media and waste our time, that we sit around and watch Netflix because we're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So HALT, it's a great acronym, and it helps you correct your behaviors. So if you do a food journal, you'll find out why you're eating. And a lot of the times you're doing it out of routine, right? 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when you used to get home as a kid from high school or grade school, and you used to go straight to the cookie jar, and now here you are, at age 35, 45, 55, still 3 o'clock in the afternoon, especially if you're working at home, you're going and eating junk because you were programmed that way. You're not hungry, but you're just programmed that way. Same thing with your time. When you go through the time journal and you write down what you're doing in 20 or 30 increments all day long, I know it sounds like a lot, but just do it for 1 or 2 days and you're going to have massive breakthroughs. So if you get up at 6 a.m., you do 6 a.m., 6:20, 6:40, 7, 7:20, and so on, all through the day until you go to bed. Have a little alarm that goes off. And then you say, 7 in the morning, I am scrolling on ESPN.com. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. So the time, the activity, and why you're doing it. Over the course of the day, using the time journal, you're going to find out 3 things. First of all, you're going to find out the negatives. Where are you losing time? Because if you are losing time, you can't leverage time. But if you figure out that you're getting into what a friend of mine calls an OCD loop, which is where you go and check your sales stats, you check your calendar, you check your email, you check your social media, and then you go back up to the top and you keep on going through it. That's a loop. And you got to break out of that because it's robbing you of time. Now, also understand that our phones have been designed to make us addicted to them. There's notifications, there are all the optional social medias to be on, and within the social medias, they have red circles and red dots and notifications and all this stuff that are designed to be addictive. So how do you get out of that OCD loop? You have to break this cycle. You have to change the rules of the game. You turn off all notifications. You put it in airplane mode. You physically turn off the phone and you physically remove the phone to another room. And that will protect you so that you don't get sucked into time wasters. So that's the number one thing you're going to learn from the time journal is the time losers, because if you have time losers, you can't leverage time. The second thing you're going to learn is a powerful concept called magic time. Magic time. Magic time, and take a note of this, is the time of the day when you are 3 times more productive, creative, and energetic than any other time of the day. Now, my magic time is early in the morning, about 5 or 6 in the morning. Your magic time might be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It might be at 10 in the morning. It might be at 7 o'clock at night. It might be at 10 o'clock at night. But what you need to do is do the time journal and notice when you're in the flow. Now, another thing you need to notice is what stops you from being in the flow. It might be that you're scheduling emails, calls, meetings, errands, all of this stuff during the time of day when you could be in the flow. Back when I was a broke, struggling trainer, I had clients at 6 in the morning. But I would be writing, and sometimes I'd be writing on the bus on the way to the gym. I'd be writing and I'd be like, oh man, now I gotta go and train my client. I'm almost done this article. I'm almost done this workout that I can sell to my clients online. And I had to interrupt that because I had a training session. And once I realized that, I remember it was a Saturday morning and I was in the middle of a flow session. And I was walking to the subway. It was 7:30 in the morning. I was just like, I don't want to leave. I want to stay and write. But I had that client at 8. And I remember that morning and I remember me realizing I'm either going to stay stuck in this loop where my time is being traded for money, or I'm going to have to make a sacrifice. I'm going to have to sacrifice income now, a small amount of income now, for a lot of income later. And I realized, you know what? If I don't take on morning clients at 6, 7, and 8 in the morning, and I lose a little bit of money now, I'll make a lot more money in the future because I'll be able to grow my online business. But if I don't sacrifice now, if I don't tighten the belt, cut my expenses, and make a little less, and then spend more time working on my new business, I'll just be stuck here. I'll be a 55-year-old personal trainer with bags under my eyes, always tired, getting 4 hours of sleep because I'm with my kids at night till 11, and then I have to be up at 3 or 4 in the morning for my clients at 5 and 6. It's not sustainable. So I sacrificed then. And that's what you have to look at now. You have to look and say, okay, every day at 11 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock, I'm the most productive. And here I am scheduling lunch meetings at 12, and I'm taking phone calls at 11, and I'm checking my email at 12:30. I'm sacrificing my future for rewards now. And you have to say instead, I'm going to do everything I possibly can. I totally understand if you're still working a first job right now and you are just starting a side hustle, that you might not be able to fully control what is done in the magic time. But maybe 3 days per week you can, or 2 days, or maybe you just start with 1 day, and this includes Saturday, right? And you say, okay, listen, I can't do my magic time Monday through Friday, but I can at least do it Saturday. And then you slowly chip away, and then maybe you shuffle some meetings at work, or if you're self-employed right now, you shuffle some stuff around right now and you open up more magic time. And soon you'll have it blocked off 6 days a week from 11 to 1 to work on your business in your magic time. And that is what will set you free. I guarantee you this is one of the biggest game changers in your life because you're leveraging that magic time. Remember, you're 3 times more productive, creative, and energetic in your magic time. Now, the cool thing is we might have 2 magic times in a day. So if we can't do the 11 to 1, maybe from 7 to 8, we can get in a killer amount of work. But you must find that out and leverage it as I did as a struggling personal trainer. First of all, I removed some of those sessions. But on other days, I made sure I got at least 20 minutes of sales copy and program design for my online business early in the morning before I had my clients. I did that consistently 6 days a week. And sure enough, in 12 months, online business was up to 6 figures. I could cut even more personal training clients, have more time, and that's how you leverage it. And you have the escape velocity from being stuck in the time for money trade. Now, the third thing that you learn from the time journal, which will really open your eyes, is this thing called your hourly worth. So if you make $100,000 in a year, this is a quick math problem for you, $100,000 in a year, and you work 50 weeks of the year, and you work 40 hours per week, how much do you make per hour? 100K divided by 50 divided by 40. You make $50 an hour. So you can generally take your annual salary, divide it by 2,000, which is 50 weeks working 40 hours, and you get your hourly worth. So maybe right now you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking, yeah, you know what, I made $250,000 last year. It's pretty awesome. And it is. Congratulations. It's really great. Or maybe you have a high-paying job and you're making $100,000. Wow, $100,000, 6 figures. That is great. That is well above average. And again, congratulations to you. But now, if you go through the time journal and you add it up and you're like, wow, I work 10 hours 5 days a week and I work 4 hours on the weekend. I'm working 54 hours a week. Not 40 hours, but 54. And I am working 50 hours or 50 weeks in a year. Now you have to divide 100,000 by over 2,500. And now you're down to about $40 an hour. And you think, holy cow. Now maybe you bill $100 an hour as a personal trainer, as I once did when I was training high-end clients. But my workday wasn't just 3 sessions and that was it, 3-hour sessions. No, there was getting to the gym. There was the time, it was 30 minutes between clients. The clients was showing up late and I would train them late. Or I had to, leave the gym and take a taxi over to another house, train them there and then back. And by the end of the day, it was a 10-hour day. And yeah, I made about $100K in a year, but I wasn't making $100 an hour. I was down to about $40 an hour. So you have to have a good, true, honest appreciation of what your hourly worth is. And when you do that, then you can finally go, how am I spending my time? And how can I change it and leverage it better? So if you are an entrepreneur making $250,000 a year and it comes out that you're making $100 an hour, but yet some of those hours are spent going to the UPS store, editing videos for your Instagram, making reels and TikToks and all that stuff, or doing your customer service, or even writing your own emails to your list. Well, you can outsource those sometimes for a few bucks. You can go to upwork.com or freeup.net and have people do customer service from all over the world for $7, $8 an hour. If you're worth over $100 an hour, you got to make that trade all the time. That's how you leverage your time to make more money. So in the time journal, we want to know what you are doing all day long and why you are doing it. If you're doing customer service because you just can't let it go, like, oh my gosh, my mom found out that I was hiring other people to do work, you have a handcuff, you have golden handcuffs on you that are going to stop you from moving ahead in life. So you have some mental blocks that you have to get over. If you came from a blue collar background like I did, I grew up on a farm, I cut the lawn every Saturday, and now when my mom finds out that I don't cut my own lawn, I don't even go to my own grocery store, I don't cook all of my own meals, we do a meal prep service. Sometimes we have the cleaning lady come in and, first of all, clean the house, but also do the laundry. My mom's like, you don't do that stuff yourself? But she was an employee for all of her life, and she grew up in a different time. And so her guilt on me can't stop me from using my time properly. If her handcuffs lock me down and prevent me from leveraging my time, then my income can never have the escape velocity. And that's where you're stuck right now. We call it a paycheck prison. And it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur and you think like, I'm a business owner, so I'm not in a paycheck prison. Yeah, you probably are. Gym owners, often you're trading time for money. Authors, often trading time for money. Coaches, trading time for money. Lawyers, trading time for money. You have a high-paying job, and therefore you're in a paycheck prison because you only get paid if you're working. If you took 6 weeks off, if you got sick, if you just disappeared from the internet for 6 weeks, if you want to go on the most amazing honeymoon in the world, if you can't leave your business and have it make money, then you really just have a high-paying job. And if you have a high-paying job, you can never truly leverage your time into exponential income. I won't say passive income because I truly believe there isn't anything like passive income. In order to become a real estate investor, I had to do all this work before. I have to go and look at the deals. I have to, probably lose some money. And then finally, I will make some money, quote unquote, passively, or, even with an online business. Yeah, I make money all the time while I sleep. I'm making sales right now while I make these videos. But I had to do the sales copy. I had to create the program. There was a lot of front-loaded work involved. So I'm not a true believer in passive income per se, but you can definitely have exponential income when you have systems in place by leveraging your time to do the right work. So you need to figure all of this stuff out so that instead of you doing $10 an hour tasks, you're doing $100, $500, $1,000 an hour tasks like writing copy. In fact, writing sales copy for a winning offer and then driving Facebook ads to it. Like right now, we're selling hundreds of my Millionaire Morning Routine courses while I stand here. From a program I created years ago in a couple of hours, from sales copy that was written months ago, and from ads that were put up weeks ago. But it's making money from that work, and it's gonna compound over time. That's exponential income, and the sky's the limit there. So really, writing that sales copy, today, that was a $10,000 an hour job. In a year from now, it'll be a $100,000 an hour job because of the money that we've made. But again, if you're just trading time, phone call for phone call, or training session for training session, you'll never have that income. And that's why it's the leverage that starts with leveraging your time so that you can then grow and explode. But also at the same time, cut your work hours. Delegation, automation, elimination. You got to automate, delegate, and eliminate. ADE formula. Automation is setting up emails to go out without you. Having your social media go up planned in advance so that you're not sitting there putting it up in real time. Delegation is teaching team members to come on, hiring them, teaching them to do the work for you, getting people who are better than you. I didn't write my own sales copy. I found a copywriter who's better than me. I taught him. I had him write my voice through the delegation, the training, the coaching, and now we've elevated our performance in our business. And then finally, elimination. You need to just say no to certain things. I can't do a podcast for every person with 25 people in their audience. So I say no to those things, and eliminating that has opened up more time for me to do better things. Eliminating going to the UPS store, eliminating cutting my own lawn, delegating that actually to somebody else is what is a leverage point. So there's some tough decisions, some counterintuitive thinking, some tough conversations with family members who want to steal your time away. You have good communication, adult conversations will solve so many of these problems. So will creative thinking, and it all starts with the self-reflection here. I talk about this a lot, so you don't want to miss the next video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you watch the next video on this and my morning routines and courses like that. Go to craigballantyne.com/apply if you are a high performer and want to work with me one-on-one or in one of my mastermind groups or with one of my coaches. Remember, we're leveraging our time here through the power of others. And you can hit me up on Instagram at @realcraigballantyne anytime, and we'll get back to you and help you out and get you the solution that you need. All right, until then, go and leverage your time so that you don't have anxiety attacks from losing your time.